The worst thing going for the bank job is it's unfortunately a very generic and boring, forgettable title. This is a pretty good film, actually a very good film. It doesn't really it's not an epic story, but it is an interesting one about what is probably the largest robbery in history. The movie takes place in early 1970 in England, but it feels a little more like a costume drama than actually being filmed in 1970, like American Gangster did, for example. Um, Up until the robbery, the movie is actually fairly ordinary. Afterwards is where it gets much more interesting and exciting, which is unusual for a heist movie like this. I'm not sure if I call this a subplot because it does fuel the entire story, but there's a lot of political intrigue, especially if this is a true story as the movie implies. Now, the reason for the robbery is that the British equivalent to the CIA, MI5, blackmails a woman into hiring robbers to rob a bank and giving her all the information and means to do so, so that the MI5 can get its hands on some photographs inside of a safety deposit box. Now, the thieves get to keep the cash and the money, but they still don't really even know that there's an ulterior motive for why this job was dropped in their lap. Now, there's a lot of again, this sounds like it could be a simple story, but there's a lot of side stories involving corrupt policemen, self-serving, high-ranking members of the British government, blackmailing high-priced madam. There's even some romantic family drama involved. And like I said, this isn't really a great film, but it is an extremely good one. It's well done, it's interesting, there's a little bit of comedy in it. No great actors, but a lot of interesting ones. Jason Statham's going to be the most recognizable one. And I recognize Saffron Burrows from a handful of other films that people probably haven't seen. But, a lot of British comedies, or a lot of British movies like this, though, the actors tend to get, they disappear into their roles. They don't stand out as movie stars like this would be when they, inevitably do an American equivalent of it. Basically, you can't go wrong. It's a good movie. You can't go wrong seeing it. It's interesting. It's exciting. Well done. I recommend it. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars.